Beginning in the 2023-2024 school year, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction will move to a statewide personalized assessment tool known as the NCPAT for the reading and math EOGs at grades 4, 5, 7, and 8. The two components of NCPAT are an interim assessment portion intended for immediate instructional purposes and a summative assessment used to evaluate student learning over the course of a year. In this video, we will highlight how this new system is different from the current EOG-EOC process, as well as what will remain the same. But before we unpack what this means for our students and schools, let's look at another testing model with which we are all familiar. Once a year, we, like thousands of other patients across the state, go to the doctor's office as part of our annual physical exam. Our doctor might order a series of important tests that measure a variety of health metrics like our cholesterol and glucose levels. Our sample is then sent to a lab to be analyzed, and results are generated for both the doctor and patient. Occasionally, labs make tweaks to their processes to improve the accuracy of their testing. However, the results they provide still offer a reliable measure of our health. Now, suppose instead of one visit to our doctor, we were able to monitor our cholesterol and glucose levels throughout the year and provide that information to our doctor. This will allow us to make on-time changes to diet and exercise and see potential improvements. So when we return to the doctor in a year, instead of getting the same standard series of tests that the other North Carolinians get, we would get one that was more personalized because it took the information from during the year into account. In this scenario, the results we get from the lab would still offer a reliable measure of our health, and they would be even more precise based on this personalized approach. Similarly, the new NCPAT system aims to offer students some personalization as well. Starting in 2023-2024, the NC check-ins that are given throughout the year will become part of the new NCPAT system. Teachers and students currently use their NC check-ins data to make along-the-way adjustments throughout the school year and will continue to do so. However, data from the check-ins will also now be used to assign students to a more personalized form of the end-of-year test. In both the old and new systems, a student's proficiency level is determined by that one test at the end of the year, so that will not change. In the past, students basically took the same test at the end of the year, and they were randomly assigned a form of the test. With NCPAT, the test form at the end of the year will be determined based on how students perform on the check-ins. Like our medical analogy, the overall goal is to provide opportunities for mid-year adjustments using the NC check-ins and to have an end-of-year test that continues to provide a reliable measure of what students know and are able to do. In the previous system, any differences in the form, for example, the color or letter designation, were for identifiable purposes. However, with the new system, the difference in the forms is intentional. There will be two sets of questions within each form. The first set will be the same for all test takers, but the second set will be more personalized for the student depending on how they did on their check-ins. We've all heard stories of students who struggle through tests from the very first page, which can be discouraging if they feel as if the content is out of their reach. The goal of this personalized approach used for NCPAT is to improve the experience for students while allowing them to show what they know. In addition to the testing experience, this approach allows the test measurement specialists to better distinguish results of test takers who score on the high or low ends, all technical factors that will not affect students on the day of testing. At the end of the day, it is important to remember that many components of the current assessment system are remaining unchanged. First, the test blueprint for each end-of-year assessment is the same as it has been so that the standards, weight distribution, item types, test format, and length remain the same for all forms of any assessment. Second, regardless of the form assigned, students will have the same opportunity to earn any achievement level on the test. Third, the scale scores and achievement level designations, as well as the interpretations and meaning of those scores, will remain the same. And finally, since all students are assessed on the same content standards and measured on the same scale, regardless of the test form, it is not easier or harder to show proficiency based on a test form. Essentially, the changes with this new NCPAT system are very technical in nature and impact the work of the psychometricians and test measurement specialists at NCDPI. It will not be obvious to students or teachers that anything has changed on test day. Remember our earlier analogy. Even when changes to processes are made at the lab, the patient is still able to get reliable results of their health. Similarly, the changes being made with the new assessment system aim to improve the experience for our students while continuing to provide accurate and valid measures of their learning. For a more detailed explanation of the new NCPAT assessment system, please refer to the materials that accompanied this video. And to learn more about how test measurement specialists and psychometricians build assessments, check out episodes of our very own Data Lit podcast.